contract management software. What can you do with this? How is it a tool that can aid your company? Well, the biggest things it can do is it brings structure and visibility to your contracts. Instead of just having to go through 50 contracts that might be on somebody's desk to see if a company's performing to the standard, you can actually look it up on a computer, see the text of the contract, and maybe associated with that contract is how the company's doing. If it's a contract that says they're going to deliver 50,000 units over the next 5 months, well, have they been doing that? It's easy to see. And if they're not doing it, what are the procedures to try to correct that? Now, this contract management software relies on a central database, a central repository of all these contracts. And because of that, it makes it easy to search these contracts. You can type in a few key terms and you can find it. Type in the company name and you can find the contract with that company. And it can help make contracts, because if you have an old contract, you might just say, okay, we're going to copy paste this section, and this section into this new contract, send it over to legal, they'll review it, make some changes, and they'll send it back, and then we'll get it executed. So it makes contracts much easier to deal with. Instead of somebody sitting there having to reinvent it every single time, you have all these past contracts that you can use to create the new one. And you can also look back. And you can look back at the history with a company based on the contracts. Did you cancel a contract because the other company defaulted? If they did, there's probably a note in there, and probably some documents also associated with that contract, such as legal documents saying you're taking them to court for non-performance in the contract or whatnot. And some of this information may be restricted to certain people because of how sensitive this data can be. You know, these contracts, you really don't want to get out there and have the news media start looking at them. You want to keep them within your company. These can be considered trade secrets or proprietary information. So contract management software is a great thing to have. However, if you don't really have many contracts, it might be just easier to have them on your computer rather than having a software package to do it. So only your company can determine where that threshold is, but if it gets too much for people to handle, it's best to get a contract management software because it can give you signals on when to check on things. So that's contract management software. There's a lot of different software packages out there that offer this as part of the package, and it could be customizable to individual companies. So don't be afraid of this software. This software can make your job so much easier, but remember, it's just like any other type of database or repository. Garbage in, garbage out. So make sure you put quality information into this software, and you should have no problems. So next, let's talk about a code of conduct. A lot of companies have these and associations have these if you're a member. So let's talk about that next.